My parents suspended my schooling for not bowing to the golden boy. My quiet move made their smiles disappear overnight. Hi, I'm Stephanie Blackwell. My parents banned me from school indefinitely until I apologized to their golden boy, Marcus. I looked straight at them and said, fine. The next morning, he was still grinning until he saw my stripped bedroom and the acceptance letter on the kitchen counter. He stumbled into the dining room, face drained of all color. Tell me you didn't already submit everything. My father's expression shattered instantly. Sunday dinner had morphed into an emergency family tribunal nobody requested. We sat around the mahogany table when Dad set down his steak knife and announced his decision like he was presenting quarterly earnings. You're staying home starting Monday. No school, no debate team, no college prep, nothing until you stand in front of the entire student assembly and apologize to your brother for embarrassing him. Mom nodded mechanically, eyes already glassy with that signature blend of disappointment and blatant favoritism. Marcus slouched back in his chair, arms folded, barely suppressing the victory smirk spreading across his face. I felt everyone staring at me the same way the whole school had watched when this nightmare started. I took a measured breath, kept my voice completely neutral, and delivered the single word they clearly hadn't anticipated. Fine. Marcus's smirk flickered. Mom blinked rapidly. Dad's mouth opened like he'd memorized an entire speech and suddenly forgot his first line. That was it. I pushed back my chair, walked upstairs, and closed my bedroom door so gently it almost felt respectful. Inside, rage was thundering through my chest. But outwardly, I was already finished fighting a battle they'd rigged from day one. If you've ever had parents choose the wrong kid, drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happened when they realized I wasn't playing games. The soft click of my bedroom door still echoed when the house finally went quiet. I sat on the carpet, back pressed against my bed frame, and dragged 2 duffel bags closer. One for clothes, one for everything proving I existed beyond this toxic household. Morning arrived with fists hammering my door hard enough to rattle the hinges. I opened it. Marcus stood there in yesterday's gym shirt, hair sticking up everywhere, eyes wild with panic. He shoved past me without permission, stopped dead center in my room, and stared at the gutted closet like someone had stolen the walls. Empty hangers swayed gently. 2 packed duffel bags sat lined up beside my desk like soldiers awaiting deployment. He whipped around, face already crimson. What the hell did you do? I didn't respond, just watched comprehension dawn. He bolted downstairs. I heard his bare feet slapping hardwood all the way to the kitchen. I followed at my normal pace. Mom stood at the stove flipping French toast she'd lost all appetite for. Dad sat at the island scrolling through work emails, coffee untouched. Marcus skidded into the kitchen, grabbed my open laptop from the couch, and spun it toward them so violently the charging cable ripped from the outlet. The screen displayed the newest email notification in bold letters nobody could ignore. Subject: Stanford Online High School, full merit scholarship awarded to Stephanie Blackwell. Immediate enrollment. Full semester. Full tuition, technology package, and academic support confirmed. Mom's spatula clattered into the sink. Dad froze mid-sip, mug suspended halfway to his mouth. Coffee dripped onto the marble countertop and nobody moved to clean it. Marcus's voice cracked. Please tell me you haven't finalized everything yet. Dad finally lowered the mug slowly, like it weighed 50 pounds. Finalized what? I leaned against the doorframe, arms relaxed at my sides. I completed the final enrollment last Tuesday, I said perfectly calm. All they needed was the transcript verification, that got uploaded Friday afternoon. Mom found her voice first. You are absolutely not doing this. Actually, I am. Dad stood so fast his bar stool scraped backward. Over my dead body. You're 17. 17 years, 11 months, and 4 days, I corrected. California Education Code says with a verified full-ride scholarship to an accredited online institution, parental consent becomes discretionary after 17 and 9 months. Marcus barked out a laugh that died halfway through. You're making that up. Google it yourself. Mom stepped forward, hands extended like she could physically restrain me. We are not funding some fancy virtual school halfway across the country. You don't need to. Tuition, materials, technology, even the college counseling, everything's covered. 4 years guaranteed. Dad's expression shifted from shock to fury in seconds. Then you're cut off. No car insurance, no phone plan, no college fund, nothing. I shrugged. Already switched the phone to my own plan last month. Cars titled in my name, and the college fund was never really mine anyway. Silence dropped like a guillotine. Marcus kept staring at the screen, scrolling with trembling fingers. He stopped on the line reading, Virtual Orientation, Monday, August 26th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. His eyes snapped to mine. That's in 2 days. Correct. Mom started crying quietly, shoulders shaking. Dad's fists clenched and unclenched at his sides. The vein in his temple throbbed the way it always did right before he exploded completely. He pointed at me, voice low and dangerous. If you do this, don't ever come back to this house. I met his stare without flinching. That's exactly the plan. Marcus tried one desperate laugh. You're bluffing. You wouldn't actually go through with this. I pushed off the doorframe and walked past him close enough that he flinched backward. Watch me. I climbed the stairs. Nobody followed. Nobody even called my name. Behind me, the only sounds were Mom's muffled sobbing and the slow drip of coffee hitting the floor one drop at a time. The silence that followed was the loudest thing I'd ever experienced. To understand why I'd been secretly preparing for days, we need to rewind to when this whole situation exploded. It started in the school parking structure right after final bell. Marcus had cornered a skinny freshman named Tommy against a concrete support column near the exit ramp. I was walking to my car when I heard shouting. By the time I got close, Tommy was on the ground clutching his face, blood streaming between his fingers. Marcus stood over him, fist still clenched, breathing hard. Security cameras captured every second. 2 guards pulled my brother away while Tommy's friends helped him up. The principal's office summoned me before I even reached my car. Mrs. Patterson sat behind her desk, expression grim. She'd mentored me through 3 consecutive state debate championships and knew I didn't manufacture drama. Marcus already occupied the chair opposite her, arms crossed, eyes red like he was the victim. He attacked me first, Marcus announced before anyone asked. Stephanie was screaming at me in the hallway all morning. Kept calling me worthless, saying I'd never accomplish anything. I just snapped. I stood there stunned for half a second, then pulled out my phone. I have the hallway footage too, I told Mrs. Patterson. Nothing happened this morning. She took my phone, watched the parking structure clip first, then the hallway footage. 30 silent seconds later, she slid it back across her desk. Marcus, 10-day suspension starting tomorrow. 0 tolerance for physical violence. Stephanie, you're dismissed. My brother's mouth fell open. He started protesting, voice climbing higher with every word, but the principal just pointed at the door. Word spread like California wildfire. By the time I got home, Marcus had beaten me there and clearly spent the entire drive manufacturing his version of events. Mom met me in the foyer, eyes already swollen. Dad waited in the dining room, sleeves rolled up like he was preparing for contract negotiations. They sat me down at the table. Marcus slouched in the corner chair looking small and wounded. Dad didn't waste time. You will go to school tomorrow morning, stand on the auditorium stage, and tell everyone you exaggerated the entire incident. You'll say your brother was defending himself after you provoked him. Mom added, voice trembling, family comes first, Stephanie. You're the older one. You should know better. I stared at the wood grain on the table. There's video proof. Crystal clear. Dad waved it away dismissively. People misinterpret situations. One apology and this all disappears. I looked up at him. So I'm supposed to stand in front of 2,000 students and lie. You're supposed to protect your brother, Mom whispered. Marcus finally spoke, voice thick. You always make everything about yourself. Just say sorry and we can move on. I felt something inside me snap clean and final. No. Dad's face darkened. Then you don't return to school until you do. No classes, no debate practice, no student council, nothing. Mom reached for my hand. I pulled away. Fine, I said. Keep me home. The room went dead silent. Marcus's eyes widened. He hadn't expected me to call their bluff. Mom started crying harder. Dad just stared like he couldn't believe what just came out of my mouth. I stood up, chair scraping loud against tile, and walked out. Upstairs, I locked my door for the first time ever. My phone buzzed 20 minutes later. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, then answered. Jennifer Martinez, my guidance counselor, the one adult who'd written every college recommendation without hesitation, was on the line. I just heard, she said, keeping her voice low. I also saw the footage. You did the right thing. I exhaled for what felt like the first time all day. Listen, she continued. Stanford Online High School's Merit Scholarship deadline is in 4 days. I've been tracking your file all year. Perfect grades, national debate titles, leadership positions. They want exactly what you represent. This is your last realistic shot at a full ride somewhere that actually values you. I sat down hard on my bed. I already started the application, I admitted. Excellent. Send me whatever you need. I'm writing the strongest recommendation of my career tonight. She paused. Whatever's happening downstairs, Stephanie, it doesn't get to define the rest of your life. You understand me? Yes, I whispered. 4 days. Don't waste them. The call ended. I stared at my phone, then opened my laptop and got to work. I wasn't going to waste a single minute. I didn't sleep that night. The laptop stayed open on my desk, cursor blinking like it was challenging me to quit. I pulled every file I'd been collecting for months. Transcripts, test scores, the stack of recommendation letters already sealed by 4 different teachers who'd watched me carry entire teams and projects while my own household treated me like background noise. I packed the hardware first. The National Debate Championship trophy from junior year, the leadership medals that actually meant something, the framed newspaper article featuring our team on the front page after nationals. Each one wrapped in bubble wrap and tucked into the duffel like evidence at trial. Emma was the only person I told. We'd been best friends since freshman orientation, the one person who never bought the perfect family facade. I texted her at 2 a.m. It's happening. Stanford Online. Full ride or nothing. Her reply came instantly. About damn time. I've got your back. I kept working. Essays, short answers, the optional supplemental prompt asking why I wanted to attend a school structured differently. I wrote the truth. 2 full pages about the person who was supposed to protect me, spending years throwing punches then playing victim. How every achievement got dismissed if it made the golden child look inadequate. How I'd learned to win quietly because celebrating openly always came with consequences. I didn't cry while typing. I was past that. At 11 p.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I picked up. Jennifer's voice came through low and urgent. I just submitted the strongest recommendation I've ever written. They're going to fight for you, Stephanie. I made sure of it. I whispered, thank you, because my throat had closed up. She added, whatever happens downstairs, you're bigger than this house. Remember that. Call ended. I stared at the screen a long time. Then I attached the personal statement, proofread one final time, and hit submit at exactly 2:47 Sunday morning. The confirmation page loaded. Application complete. Decision within 48 hours. I closed the laptop, sat on the edge of my bed, and for the first time in years felt something close to peace. Not happiness yet, just the absence of weight pressing down on my chest. Downstairs remained silent. They had no idea what I'd just done. Then Monday morning, my phone started exploding. The notification lit up my screen while I stood at the kitchen island in yesterday's sweatpants pouring orange juice. Stanford Online High School, decision letter. I tapped it open with one thumb. The header was simple, bold, impossible to misread. Congratulations, Stephanie Blackwell. Full merit scholarship. 4 years tuition, technology package, academic counseling, and college prep curriculum enclosed. Mandatory virtual orientation, Monday, August 26th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I read it 3 times before the words actually registered. Mom shuffled in wearing the same bathrobe she'd had on all weekend, eyes red-rimmed, hair unbrushed. She saw my face and stopped dead in the doorway. What now? She asked, voice flat. I turned the phone so she could see. She leaned forward, squinted, then let out a sound halfway between gasp and sob. Her hand flew to her mouth. Within seconds, Dad appeared behind her, drawn by the noise. Mom just handed him the phone without speaking. He read standing up, scrolling slowly, jaw getting tighter with every line. When he reached the part about the technology package, he looked up at me like I'd betrayed him personally. This is a joke. It's not. The call started immediately after. 43 missed calls over the following week. Mom left 7 voicemails beginning with tears and ending with guilt. Dad left 9 starting angry and escalating. Marcus left 2, voice cracking, asking if I could just talk so everything could return to normal. I never pressed play on a single one. By day 5, I blocked every Maryland area code in my phone. The screen went blissfully quiet. 6 years later, their numbers no longer appeared at all. I graduated Stanford University with honors, landed a senior analyst position at a tech company in San Francisco, and adopted a rescue dog named Bailey who sleeps on my couch every night. Emma still texts twice a year with updates I never requested. Your mom lives alone now. Your dad works constantly. Marcus never applied to college. He manages inventory at Target. I read, close the thread, and go back to whatever I was doing. Some colleagues assume I carry scars. I don't. I carry clarity. Cutting them off wasn't punishment. It was the day I stopped volunteering to be the family punching bag. Some people are born into homes. Others have to build their own. I built mine, boundary by boundary, paycheck by paycheck, decision by decision. And every morning when Bailey thumps his tail against the floor and the San Francisco fog rolls past my window, I know I chose the only life that was ever going to fit. The past stays where I left it, 3 states away, behind a door that closed years ago. I never opened it again. And I never will.